So if you're going to Havasu Falls, one of the most popular things to do on one of your days off is to go down Mooney Falls to Beaver Falls and maybe beyond to the Confluence. There's just one little itty bitty problem. You got to get down Mooney Falls first. Let's get into it. So before we get into that, we got to talk logistics. What are the trail stats? Well, the trail to Beaver Falls is only 4 miles round trip with a total elevation gain of around 900 feet. And if you're going all the way to the Confluence, that turns into more like 11 miles round trip with 2,300 feet of elevation gain. So to start this trail, make your way to the top of Mooney Falls. From there, you're going to start descending alongside Mooney Falls. There's a little bit of exposure here until you reach to the top of the first tunnel. Go through the first tunnel and then you pop out to this amazing view. When you're done with the amazing view, descend through the second tunnel to the top of what is known as the down climb of Mooney Falls. So how scary is the down climb of Mooney Falls? Well, that kind of depends on you, what your comfort level is and what your skill level is. For me, I found it to be scary. In fact, I kind of thought of it kind of like a Via Ferrata, but without the safety harness. All right, maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but if you've ever done it, you know what I mean. But to tell you the truth, I saw people make it down the down climb of Mooney Falls that I would have pegged never would have made it down. So it can be done, and I'm here to help you. So here are my top tips to make it down Mooney Falls. Tip number 1, wear gloves. So usually at the top of Mooney Falls, there'll be a pile of gloves. Now keep in mind though, sometimes if you're betting on that, those pile of gloves might have already been used, especially if you're coming later in the day or mid-morning. So best case, bring your own gloves, but the gloves really help with the thick chain that you hold on to on your way down. For my second tip, face the wall. You wouldn't go down a ladder faced out, don't go down Mooney Falls faced out. And plus, I find it easier to concentrate when I'm focused on the wall itself. Kind of helps take your mind off of how high up you are. So face the wall. My third tip is pretty obvious. Always have 3 points of contact. What's nice about the down climb of Mooney Falls is there's pretty obvious places to put your hands and feet. Sometimes it can kind of get a little awkward and you're kind of doing some awkward movements, but in general, you have really good handholds, but always have 3 points of contact. For my fourth tip, have the person that's most comfortable doing the down climb go first. This way they can help coach the person that's least comfortable where to put their hands, where to put their feet. It just helps put them at ease because it wasn't uncommon to see someone kind of freeze up halfway down the down climb. So if you found that to be really terrifying, you're probably thinking to yourself like, yeah, I really don't want to do that again and I'm terrified to going back up. The good news for you is I found going up to be far easier than coming down. So there's your good news. But when you get to the bottom of Mooney Falls, you can't help but feel that you just accomplished something amazing. And in fact, you probably feel like you just climbed Mount Everest. And you should, you've earned it because it's simply gorgeous down here. Mooney Falls is incredible. The scene is amazing. The area is amazing. Soak it in, take it in because it is absolutely stunning. And after you've left Mooney Falls, the way here is really slow. Not because the trail is hard to find, but because the scene is so gorgeous. There's all these stair-step waterfalls. You're crossing the creek at least 3 times, and every time you get near the creek, it just invites you to just lounge around. Every bend in the creek is almost like its own paradise that you just don't want to leave. Even the canyon itself, when you're not by the creek, is simply stunning. There's an area that you go through that almost looks like grapevines. They're almost like 4 feet high. It's kind of unworldly. It's beautiful. Also keep watch for desert bighorn sheep because after you leave Mooney Falls, they're in that valley, and if you're paying attention, you have a good chance of seeing them. So you know you're getting close to Beaver Falls when you reach Palm Tree Cave. Now, Palm Tree Cave is this lone palm tree that has no business being there, but it's simply stunning. It's gorgeous. So once when you reach Palm Tree Cave, you kind of climb up another kind of exposed area above the creek, and shortly after that, you'll reach the top of Beaver Falls. In the down climb to Beaver Falls, there is more exposure through here, but it's nothing like what you did at Mooney Falls. But when you get to the bottom of Beaver Falls, this is probably one of the funnest waterfalls of all the waterfalls in Havasu. It's just kind of like this stair-stepping waterfall. It's simply gorgeous. But if you come down here, one of my best tips for you is don't miss the waterfall cave. The waterfall cave is kind of in the middle tier of Beaver Falls, and it's a cave behind the waterfall. It's simply stunning. It is incredible. It's in its like own little grotto as the water falls right in front of you into like this big blue pool. It's amazing. It's stunning. Do not miss it. So when you reach the top of Beaver Falls and your main goal is to reach the Confluence, skip Beaver Falls. And I know that's like really, really hard to do.
Big monster!
Let's go!
But there's a very, very good reason for it. And that's because when the sun sets behind the canyon walls and Beaver Falls is in the shadows, this is when, in my experience, most people packed up and left. And if you're going to the Confluence, by the time you get back to Beaver Falls, that sun is already gone behind the canyon wall and you might have Beaver Falls to yourself, as was the case when I did it. So bypass Beaver Falls. I know it's hard, but keep going. Just be sure that you give enough time on your way back to enjoy Beaver Falls. Right after you leave the junction with Beaver Falls, you enter the Grand Canyon National Park and you leave Havasu 5 behind. And from here, the trail is a little bit harder to follow and there are several creek crossings that you do. It's really hard to get lost because you're just following the creek down the valley, but there are a lot of meandering trails and some of them lead to nothing. So you'll probably do a little bit of backtracking here and there, but if you ever get into a section where you feel like it's getting kind of sketchy, just pull back a little bit. There's probably a better route. And the further you get down the valley, the less trees and vegetation there are, and you'll see more cactuses and things of that nature. But you know you're getting close to the Confluence when you start to see the Vishnu, this is how you spell it. The Vishnu basement rock. It kind of looks like this. You know you're getting close to the Confluence when you start to see that rock because it's the oldest rock in the Grand Canyon, and it's the rock that's down by the Colorado River. And when you reach the Colorado River, you're kind of above the creek and the slot canyon of Havasu Creek as it enters the water of the Colorado. It's quite stunning to see the blue water mixing with the brown of the Colorado. Have lunch here, spend some time because it's pretty awesome. But also note that it's pretty common to have tour rafting guides to park their boats in the Confluence themselves because there's really no other place for them to park. So just keep that in mind. But either way, if Beaver Falls is your destination or the Confluence itself, you're in for an amazing adventure because, to be perfectly honest, this is one of the best day hikes, most beautiful day hikes I have ever done. It's simply beyond words, the beauty of this canyon. And that's why this hike is rated the gold standard. But if you've been down Mooney Falls, let me know how scary it was for you. Or what is the scariest hike you've ever done? Put it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. If you like this video, please hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.